Yo, what up, y'all? It's Don Warbucks here with another Don's Rants. Let's get straight to it. This is the type of topics that I like the best. This relates to me so much. Bob Vylan, he performed at the Glastonbury Festival 2025 a couple of weeks ago. No, not even a couple of weeks ago, maybe a couple of days ago to this recording. And yeah, this man says some choice words. I wonder, do you think this is free speech or do you think this is hate speech? I'll let you hear for yourself.
Death, death to the IDF, death, death to the IDF, death, death to the IDF, death, death to the IDF.
So yeah, he's saying some stuff that ruffles a lot of feathers in the Israeli community. And you know, we're dealing with some tumultuous times right now. Right now, everything is on hots right now. Everything is just, you touch it, it burns on fire. If we want to look at the context of what's been going on right now, you have to think as someone that's in their shoes. If you were in that festival, watching that festival, and you seen a performer say death to your race or death to your kind, how would you feel about that? Is that something that you would be okay with, or is that something that you wouldn't be okay with? It's a heavy subject. It's a strong subject. Me as an artist, I want to say the things that I want to say, but at the same time, you know, you don't want to get censored for things that doesn't make sense for you to not get censored for. And something like this, you have to look at the context of this. Even though I'm a proponent of free speech, and I love free speech, and I feel like free speech and freedom of expression is what makes the world go round and what makes ideas move forward, especially in a positive manner. This right here wasn't that case. We're dealing with a group of people that, when it comes to the IDF, when you are a citizen of Israel, you're required to serve for the IDF. So when you say death to the IDF, you're kind of saying death to everybody that live in Israel. So, you know, that's a big deal right there. And now, you know, this man, he has visas, so that way he can travel from place to place to perform. And USA, they're not going to deal with that, you know. The UK, I don't know what type of sanctions they gave him, but the USA, they banned his visa. And they have a right to ban his visa. When they have conflict with other countries and when they have conflict with other entities, and you are someone that's not from this country, you're not someone that could exercise the freedom of speech the way other people can, they have a right to take away your visa. It is what it is. And I'm an artist. I'm a big, heavy proponent of free speech, you know. But when you're dealing with situations like that, and when you're dealing with people that they have to be in the military, they have to be serving IDF one way or another, majority of the population in Israel, this is what's going to happen. This is what I feel at the end of the day. If we're going to use this thing called freedom of speech, we have to use it in a responsible manner, and we have to use it in a manner in which it's progressing things forward, whether people agree or not agree. We have to use it in a manner in which we're expressing our concerns of what's going on in society. People are using free speech just to insult people. You know, you just want to use it just to irritate people, you know. You know, I could walk down the street and I could call someone a piece of shit. It's my right to say it. But there's consequences with doing that. There's consequences with saying, yo, your mother could suck my joint. Like, you know, there's consequences for that. Am I free to say it? Yeah. But there's consequences for it. And we have to stop using this freedom of speech to just insult people. It doesn't do anything in society, and it doesn't do anything for the culture. My opinion. I know in my future music as an artist, I know I'm going to say things that's going to ruffle feathers. I know I'm going to say things that's going to insult people just by saying the truth. You know, not by just, you know, having a just open-ended opinion, just by saying the objective truth. That part of the freedom of speech is going to offend people. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, I want to do it in a manner that causes conversation, like what's happening now. What he did cause conversation. Did it cause positive conversation? I don't know. Because you got to look at the context of that. You know, no black person wants a white person to come up on stage and say death to all black people, you know, and vice versa. If a black person comes up there and says death to all white people on stage, people are going to feel a way about it. It doesn't build anything. And he even said it himself. He said, the only way people can understand my point is through violence.
We're not pacifist punks here over at Bob Vylan Enterprises. We're not pacifist punks. We are the violent punks, because sometimes you got to get your message across with violence, because that is the only language that some people speak, unfortunately.
You know, so when you say something like that, you say something that you have to talk to people in such a derogatory, incendiary way in order to get the point across. Might not get the point across. But at the end of the day, controversy creates cash. You know, this guy Bob Vylan, I think his music numbers is gonna go up. People are gonna look at his music. I wasn't aware of his music before this. I started looking down his stuff, and he's one of those people that have a lot of social commentary in his music. So this is right up my alley. I'm big on social commentary, even though I practice versatility in my music. I'm big on social commentary, okay? So this will boost up his virality, but I don't know. Let me know what you think, man. Is this something that you agree with? Was this free speech or was this hate speech? In my opinion, it's moving towards hate speech. But if you don't agree, you can definitely comment. If you do agree, you can comment. I appreciate the comments more than anything, man. Comment. I want to be able to talk to people. I want to get to know who everyone is that comes across this video. Like the video, share the videos, and other Don's Rants. Holla at me.